Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mr. Smith's YouTube channel. Today we're going to be continuing on learning Google SketchUp for Schools. And again, we're taking advantage of our orthographic drawings that we had created last unit and using our own technical drawings to recreate the 3D models or isometric 3D models. In my last video, I kind of went over the basics, but I did go a little fast. Some of the feedback y'all gave me was that I was moving a little quick. I kind of thought that you guys could pause or even slow down the video, but I will move a lot slower through this one, so maybe that'll help you out. All right, so let's jump right into it. All right, so today we're going to be working on our locating guide. So this was the second orthographic drawing we did. We did the top, we did the front, and we did the side view. This is very similar to SketchUp 1, which was the bracket. It's just a little bit different and kind of rotated, but all the techniques are pretty much the same. All right, so I'm gonna jump right into it. All right, so if you make your way over to Google SketchUp, we're gonna go ahead and create new. For this one, again, I wanna use centimeters. Just because that object, the numbers are kind of big. If it was inches, 50 inches is, 4 feet and something. So we don't want our part to be 4 foot big. So we're going to use centimeters on this. So click the little drop down here and then go to centimeters. Again, the link to Google SketchUp for Schools is on the It's Learning page. All right, it's on the It's Learning page. So you're going to click decimal centimeters. I also added a keyboard. That way y'all can see my button presses that I am doing and how I'm typing. Maybe that will help also. All right, so they no longer have Temple Grandin. I haven't researched to see who this is yet, but we have a new avatar in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and click on her and click delete. All right, so that way I have a nice work area here. First things first, you always want to save. All right, so I'm going to go up and click Untitled, then go into my OneDrive, and I'm going to call this YouTube SketchUp number 2, and this is our locating guide. All right, YouTube SketchUp number 2 locating guide. All right, so now that it's saved, all right, sometimes you'll get an error, guys. Just keep clicking save. It'll update in the cloud. All right. So we're going to take a look here. So which way do we want to start? So when we did the last one, we started with the rectangle bottom. But the thing that's different here is we do have a rectangle, but we also have this arched edge on the right side. So I'm going to start by drawing the rectangle first. And then I'm going to add that arch second. All right, so rectangle first, arch second. So I look here and I see that my rectangle is 65, all right, 65 long. And then how far across is it? Well, I know that the diameter of this circle is 25, but I also know that the radius of this big arch is 25. So I know that this is 50 across. So I need a square that is 65 by 50. 65 by 50. All right, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool. All right, the reason I'm including the keyboard is I'm going to teach you hotkeys today. So if I take my finger and press R, you will see that now it's gone to the rectangle tool. Again, watch. All right, I'm on my pointer. If I take my finger and press R on the keyboard, I now have the rectangle tool. All right, so I'm going to start by just drawing, and I want it to be 65, comma 50. Enter. All right, and there's my rectangle. So again, I start drawing the rectangle. All right, I type in 65, comma 50. Enter, and I've got my rectangle. If you're not using a mouse, you'll have to go down here and grab your zoom tool. All right, I like to use this zoom tool. Ooh. All right, but again, I have a mouse. All right, so with the mouse, I can click, I can rotate, I can zoom. All right, so if you don't have a mouse, you're gonna have to use these tools down here. All right, so like I told you in the last video, as we work, I want you to dimension. So let's just double check. Okay, yeah, we got 65 by 50. All right, what this will do is as you're working, you won't have these moments where you're like, okay, that's not what I wanted, because you're double checking yourself all the way through. All right, so next thing we want to do is add this arch here. So if I go back to my drawing, all right, so that arch is a 25 radius. So I need to find the middle and then create a circle that is 25. So I'm going to grab my tape measure tool to find the middle. All right, again, if I press T, all right, T on the keyboard, T gives me the tape measure. Watch, T, all right, tape measure tool. You're going to click a corner and start going out. Okay, half of 50 is 25, so I'm going to click 25, enter. And now I have this little guide point right here at 25. All right, so I'm going to use that guide point to create a circle. If you want to take a guess, what is the hotkey for circle? It is C. All right, so now I've got my circle tool. I'm going to click on that midpoint I created, and I'm going to pull it out to the edge. All right, and that's going to create our arc we need. I'm going to grab my eraser tool. So E, right? Probably E. I tapped E on the keyboard. Got my eraser tool, and I'm going to delete this line and this line. I'm going to leave that midpoint because we need to draw a circle and cut it later. All right? So you actually have two ways to do this. You can draw the circle in now before you push pull, or you can draw it in later. It's really up to you. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and take a look at our drawing here. All right, so on our drawing, I think I'm going to go ahead and draw in that circle. So the diameter of that circle is 25, but SketchUp wants us to include the radius. So the radius is 12.5. All right, so even though our diameter is 25, the radius is 12.5. So I'm going to take our circle tool. All right, and I'm going to click that midpoint and see it at the bottom right there. You'll see that it says radius. So I'm going to type 12.5, enter. All right, and that gave us a radius of 25. Or sorry, that gave us a diameter of 25 because our radius was 12.5. So how can I double check myself? I grab the dimension tool. All right, I click it, diameter 25. That's what we wanted. All right, radius of this one should have been 25. All right, so everything's looking good here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my push-pull tool and add material. All right, add depth to this model. So I'm going to go down here to the picture. So how far up do I need to go? Well, I need to go 12. All right, need to go 12 up. So I'm going to grab the push-pull tool here, and I'm going to pull this up and type 1, 2, enter. All right, so if you'll see, I pulled this up, but the issue is I still have this here, this original circle that we drew. All right, so I'm going to just take my eraser tool now, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to, well, that wasn't good. Maybe I'm going to click from the bottom. Huh. Oh, SketchUp, you give me issues sometimes. All right, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take our push-pull tool now, and we're going to push this up. See, that's why I don't like, sometimes I don't like to use, I don't like to draw in cuts early. Because then you're left with weird stuff like this. All right, we're going to take a step back. Let's go ahead and delete this. All right, go ahead and delete that. Sorry guys, SketchUp is not being my friend right now. All right, so we're going to delete that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this dimension over here. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this up, 1, 2, enter, 12 again. So we're going to pull it up 12. All right, if you look here at our drawing, we pulled it up 12. So now we're going to go back and grab our tape measure tool. The hotkey is T. I'm going to click and go in 25. All right, now I'm going to go draw that circle. Again, hotkey for circle, guys, is C. I'm going to draw in that circle. I'm going to type the radius is 12.5 because we want the diameter to be 25. All right, and now I'm going to do a push cut. All right, I tried to do too many things at once earlier and it didn't work out. So I'm going to press P on the keyboard to get my push pull. And then I'm going to push pull this down. All right, so notice how I'm doing this. I'm clicking the circle and I'm moving it down until I hover over this bottom edge. You see how it snapped to that green endpoint? So what you're telling it to do is push down to that point, and then when I let go, it does what's called a push cut. All right, so I'm pushing down until I get to the bottom of my object right here, and it's gonna snap to that green point, and then if I let go, it cuts it. All right, so again, one more time, I push down till I hover over that edge. All right, I can get the midpoint or I can get the green point. I just need one of these edges, and then it'll do a push cut. All right. So at this point, I just need to quickly dimension. All right, so I'm going to grab the dimension tool and demonstrate that that's 25. And then I also need to demonstrate that that is 12 high using my dimensions. Okay. So at this point, we just need to add our little rectangle back here. All right, so if we take a look, the only thing we're missing is this little rectangle. So I need the length and width of that rectangle. It is a 12 by 30, 12 by 30, 12 by 30. All right, and actually the keyboard is in the way here. So I'm gonna pull it down for a second. All right, so you can see that it's 12 wide by 30 long. All right, 12 wide by 30 long. So we're gonna go back to our SketchUp. I'm gonna grab my rectangle tool by pressing the R on the keyboard. All right, I'm gonna click on this corner and I'm gonna pull down and I'm gonna type 12, 25, enter. Oh, all right, so it went the wrong way, so that means I need to reverse my dimensions. So I'm gonna click again. So I need 25, 12. All right, and that way it'll go the right way. But I actually needed 30, all right? So I looked at that value wrong. It's actually 30 here, so 12 by 30. Sorry again, guys, I'm waking up this morning. All right, so again, I'm gonna click that corner. I'm gonna type 30, 12. All right, and that is our rectangle there. All right, so how high do I need to go? Well, we need to go 25 up, all right, 25 high. So I'm gonna grab my push-pull or press P on the keyboard and pull it up and type 25, enter. All right, now I just need to finish dimensioning, so I grab the dimension tool. And I want to double check that that is 30. I'm going to do it again. 30. This should be 25. And back here, we should have a 12. All right. And at this point, this looks a lot like this. This looks a lot like this. So we know that we have done it correct because all of our dimensions match. Okay. So again, if you want to add appearance, all right, you don't have to, but if you would like to add appearance, come over here to the right. You're going to click on this little cube that has the checkered on one side, then you're going to go into search and you can pick whatever material you want. In my case, I think I want this thing to be wood. All right, so let me show you something. If you click, it'll click a surface. If you double click, it'll do a surface and the outline of that surface. If you triple click, it does the whole object. All right, so if I want to paint the whole object in one click, I can triple click, go over here to wood. I'm filling this. All right, and there we go. So I've painted my whole object using a triple click and then a paint. All right, very last thing, guys, this is where it's going to be worth, I've given you the grade breakdown. I believe this is worth 10 points is putting your name on this, all right? So you're going to go in here and find 3D text. It's inside of a rectangle, and click on this A. You're going to type your name. All right, so I'm Mr. Smith. All right, you can pick your whatever font you want. Today I'm going to do Oswald. All right, I might even make it bold. All right, for the height, all right, we know like that back piece back there is it's 25 high. So maybe I make my height like 15. All right, extrusion is how far out the letters come. You don't want this to be a huge number, so I'm going to try 2. Then I'm going to click OK. All right, so that height actually made mine really big. So I could try to like place it somewhere on the side maybe, or if I want it to be on the back, I'm going to go ahead and click, all right, and put it on the back. If you go over here to where your move tool is and click, there's a tool down here called scale. If I click that, then what it'll allow me to do is I can grab one of these green blocks here, all right, and then I can go back and grab my move tool and I can move this to where I want it. Oh, I say that. All right, let me try that again. Okay, maybe that's how I want it. All right, and you know what? I kind of like the way it looks in silver, but I might paint it. Let me go into my colors, see what red looks like. That's a little much. What about dark blue? No, I'm not feeling that either. You know, sometimes the gray is just the best. There we go, I like that. All right, so there you go, there's my piece. All right, with all my dimensions. So I have the model, I have correct dimensions, and I have my name. That's what I'm looking for when I go to grade these. All right, at that point, you just need to take a screenshot. All right, let's see if my snipping tool works today. It does. All right, sweet. All right, so if you open up snipping tool, you can click new, and then it'll allow you to draw a rectangle around it. Make sure you get all your dimensions. All right, and then you can just go to File, Save. All right, File, Save As. And I'm going to call mine SketchUp bracket 2, or sorry, SketchUp number 2, and this is Locating Guide. All right, and this is what if I am the student, so I am you, I am submitting this as my grade. So I have the 3D model with my name on it, all the dimensions. I've taken a screenshot, and then I am submitting this, and I will be grading them. All right, so that's it for SketchUp number 2. I'm going to make another video for SketchUp number 3, which will be the tool post slide that we did when we did our orthographic drawings. All right, guys, as always, thanks so much. Reach out via email or It's Learning if you need help. And thank you for your hard work.